guys, what's poppin'? I'm back again with another video. Today, I'm here with my aunts, and we are here with what's the segment name?
High Value Conversations with Bree and me.
And today, the subject or overall theme is, what is loving yourself and how does that look like? I got the idea from the episode on Euphoria. If you don't know what Euphoria is, it's sort of a coming of age TV show about a girl named Rue, and she has her addictions, and it's centered around multiple teenagers who are chasing their own idea of euphoria in their own, like I said, twisted ways earlier. I said twisted ways, which they are very confused. But one of the characters' name is Kat, and she struggles with the concept of loving herself and loving herself in her relationship, and loving herself in general. And I think that people just say the phrase "love yourself," and that's just as far as they take it. And I think there's more to it than that.
For sure.
What do you think?
We're gonna get into what I got a whole lot to unpack there. There's a lot of YouTubers out there saying, "Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself." Mm-hmm. People don't come with instructions, and some people have been so damaged in their lives. Yeah. They don't know what love looks like.
Yeah.
So
real love.
That's the first where we can start. Are you still gonna do my makeup?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can talk while you put makeup on.
Yes.
Okay, good. Then it's going down.
With the primer.
But anyway, back to the subject. My first comment on what does loving yourself look like? Mm-hmm. Whatever you would do for somebody else that you love, like your mom, your children, your family, do that for yourself. What you would want them to do to live longer and to be healthy, do that for yourself. So you can start out with mental health. Loving yourself means like having a strong, positive mindset. And you can start off that really by doing affirmations and looking in the mirror and telling yourself that you are smart, you are beautiful, you are intelligent, you are strong. And tell yourself that every day. Every single day, several times a day even, if you have to.
We forget.
Well, we forget, and the other thing is every time you think something negative in your space, in your head, it takes up space in your head. So whether you think it's working or not, it doesn't hurt to think or say something positive and have positive things in your head. So that's the first thing on loving yourself. It's got to be a mental thing. You've got to love yourself enough to take care of your mental health. So read positive stuff, do some positive affirmations, stand in the mirror, tell yourself you are and then believe it. Eventually, you'll believe it. So that's one thing. Another thing is physical health. Work out. Go for a walk, a jog, a run, lift some weights, do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, do some squats, ride a bike. But all that stuff gives you vitamin D. It gives you different environments. It gives you physical movement. It helps the oxygen in your cells, your blood cells move around your body so that you don't have that toxic negativity that just staying inside your body. You do that every day. That's a part of loving yourself. Or, weekly, if you can't work out every day, but, take care of yourself like that on a weekly basis. That's a part of loving yourself. And then work on your spirituality, whatever your spirituality is. If you're Christian, if you're Muslim, if you're Jewish, or you have Judaism, if you are Buddhist, if you're just a metaphysical person who believes in love in the universe, whatever that is, work on your spirituality on your own. Figure out what your beliefs are, study those beliefs, and be firm in them. That's a part of loving yourself and loving God, And then, after you get to your mental health and your physical health and your spiritual health, then your actual health, what you eat and how you eat. Loving on yourself is putting things in your body that will make your body react in a positive way. That's a way to love yourself, So it's really that simple. Sometimes people people say it, but they don't do it. And you have to do that every day. Put that time into yourself. When you start putting that much time into yourself, when somebody comes to you with the okie doke game, you're like, listen, I've been spending 4 or 5 hours a day, every day of my life, working on myself, and you gonna come in here with that? You think I'm just gonna give it to you? No, sir. No, sir. You know, and when you love yourself, you recognize things because you know the work that you put into your own self, and you know that you're gonna put that work into another person. They have to earn it. They have to deserve it. You know, when you put that much work into yourself, you're not gonna just let anybody come in with any kind of game. And that's just, in my personal opinion, the truth as I see it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think also a part of loving yourself is forgiving. Forgiving in general is.
Look at my niece talking about forgiveness. How does she know? How does she know? Forgiving. Who is it forgiveness for?
I mean, if like holding on to grudges.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, as a person, like I am a person who never forgets.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't let people forget. But like on some levels, it's a weight because you're just holding yourself back.
Yes.
Keep telling yourself the same thing over and over again. And I don't know. You could be spending your time doing things that are more valuable. So I think forgiving yourself for accepting certain things is a way to get past it.
Amen. Yes.
And it's like a lot of times people, like when we're confused, we say we should have known better or something like that, but we can't keep blaming ourselves, you know.
Forgiveness, in my opinion, works several ways. First, you forgive yourself for anything that you feel you didn't bring to the table, or that you perceived incorrectly, or that you let past traumas interrupt or interfere. So you forgive yourself for those mistakes that we make as humans. But many times people, which way?
Or you can still go this way.
Can I? I'm being moved. Perfect. If you can forgive the other person, that works for you. That forgiveness is for you. Because if you walk around with the whole, I'm mad.
I'm never gonna let nobody do me like that no more. You ain't
nobody ever. You ain't gonna never, and I don't forgive you. I ain't gonna never forgive you. And every time you see them, you frown up. You hear their name, you frown up. You see them, you talk to them on the phone, you frown up. And all that does is just put negative toxins into your own body. And it puts wrinkles all around those little places you frown in. And your muscles in your face begin to be comfortable with that look. Someday you find yourself, you ever heard of RBA? Or no, what is it? RBF?
Mm-hmm.
Then you have. You know, you get that from being mad at people and you get stuck. People say it all the time back in the country, you know, no, I wouldn't make that face if I was you. You're going to get stuck on. They wasn't lying. You walk around being mad at people all the time, you're going to look mad all the time. So forgiveness is for you. You forgive somebody and it relieves you. They're going to deal with whatever they're going to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
They don't learn. That's their fault. They're going to be stuck in their own cycles. But you can choose to be out of your cycles. Like, you can choose to learn.
You can choose to stay in the cycle. You can choose to leave the cycle. Amen to that. Mm-hmm. I have to remind myself that all the time, because I can tell you how many times I have myself been in the cycle. You know, you get into that cycle. Then why don't they love me? Why didn't they choose me? You know, and then you start doing all this stuff. I read this little affirmation once, or this little quote once, where it said something like, when you say yes to someone, when you really mean no, you find yourself doing stuff for people that you don't really want to do.
You resent them.
And then you resent them for it. And then when they don't notice, you know,
you resent them even more.
It hurts you, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you're really doing is not showing them how, you're showing them how kind you are, how kind you want them to think you are, and how hard the paint you will go for them.
It's kind of manipulation.
It can be a kind of manipulation. You know, you want them to see how hard that they work for you, but people don't work that way. They're not looking at it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So you end up hurting yourself more than helping yourself. You know, if you want to do something for somebody, you do it for them out of pure kindness of your heart, period. You know, so say no when you mean no. You don't have to be mean about it, but say no when you mean no. And say yes when you really mean yes. Like, love yourself first. Prioritize yourself first. Put your mask on first, and then you can put the mask on other people. Well, I tell you though, it's easy to say it, and so hard when you come from a place where everything in your past was traumatic. It's so hard to do it. So you have to have to practice. You have to practice, and those ways, that list I made, you know, those things I said, that's a way to practice loving yourself. As time goes on, you'll find the things that you really love, and you'll do more of those things, and you add those things to your list, like hiking or rowing or meditating or yoga or some kind of people are into axe throwing. Have you ever heard of that?
Jason Momoa.
Is he? Of course. I am not into axe throwing because, you know, axes. But anyway, you know, but whatever it is that you're into, you know, do the things that make you happy and do it for fun. Read something, you know, all those things that you do, build yourself. And when you build yourself, you make yourself more attractive to the kind of people you want to be attracted to. You know, so somewhere in the ether, darling. Somewhere in the ether. How are we looking so far? I'm not looking, so I don't know, but that's what we look like so far. Pretty cool, I think.
Just cut the base.
We got the base. It's all about the base. Loving yourself. It is a catchphrase. There's so many catchphrases right now. We have a lot of people talking about self-everything. This is, I think, the era of selfies, self-made, millionaires, entrepreneurs, self-love, self-starters. We had COVID, so a lot of us spend a lot of time by ourselves. So it's easy to say love yourself, but for some people, like I said, it's difficult for them to do it.
Yeah, some people really were born into, like, I don't know, strife and like turmoil. And so there's some people were based off like survival, you know.
They're living to survive instead of to thrive.
And they don't know nothing but take, because that's all they can get. But sometimes, like, yeah, it's reasonable that that's the way that you, like, came out, I guess. But once you figure out that what you're doing is, like, toxic and wrong, but you still keep doing it, is, like, that's when it starts getting into, like, okay, dude, like, you can't use your trauma and all that as an excuse. Because
well, now here in my, sorry to interrupt, here is where I feel like a lot of people don't realize there's a thing called muscle memory. Your body remembers, you know, your muscles remember the movements that you make. Your brain is a muscle. It remembers the movements that you make. So if you have for 20 years practiced being a procrastinator, or you practice complaining, you can't just say today I'm going to stop complaining, and then
it's also conscious though.
So that's why you practice. So instead of complaining, when you feel like you want to do a complaint, or if you just complained, say 2 nice things after that, and do that every time. And then eventually, when you feel like you're about to complain, say something nice. Like, put a new habit into place. But it takes practice. You have to do that all the time until it becomes muscle memory to do it differently. You see what I mean? So I understand that people from traumatic places, like, I think that there are a lot of people in traumatic places that have come to high heights in their life. It all started with a decision. They decided, I'm going to do this, and nothing budged them from that. Nothing. You know, they train their brain to do whatever it takes and to do the things that they need to do to prepare for them to do whatever it is they wanted to do. For example, if they wanted to be a basketball player, they trained themselves to play basketball every day and focus on that. They didn't go hang out with Jim and Mike and Bob and all of them down the street. They didn't go to the movies, they didn't go to concerts, they played basketball every day. So then their muscle memory was that. Even though they were in terrible trauma and strife and coming out of the ghetto, that focus, that laser focus created muscle memory. So you can change bad habits. I'm in the process of changing bad habits. I know I have a lot of them. But some of them I have successfully changed, and it's work. You have to put in the work. So, once you create those habits and those routines and muscle memory, can't nobody shake that. Can't nobody come in and change your world around, because you're going to go directly back into loving yourself. And when you love yourself, it's like that old saying, you cannot cheat an honest man, because an honest man won't want to cheat. You can tell them, hey, I'll give you these eggs for 50 cents. They're cheaper than the eggs you get. Well, why are they 50 cents? What's wrong with the eggs? Well, there's nothing wrong with the eggs. Well, then, why are they 50 cents? Well, I sold these eggs. Well, I get these eggs down here from Mr. Adler, and he charges me 90 cents, and I can afford the 90 cents, and I pay the 90 cents. And he pays 90 cents. And the guy who tries to sell him the eggs for 50 cents got caught and went to jail. And everybody who bought the eggs from him for 50 cents went to jail too. You can't cheat an honest man. You just can't. I'm just saying. I have to check out this show, Euphoria.
Yeah, I know the older generation. Don't want to call y'all old, but
You just
y'all
did.
a little bit.
You just did.
Y'all a little bit. Let's say seasoned.
Okay.
Let's say experience.
Okay.
Y'all. Well, I guess y'all. I don't want to say judge, but y'all are harsh on our freeness.
Oh, well, no, I don't know anything about Euphoria simply because I don't watch a whole lot of TV.
Well, actually, I won't say just y'all, because I'll be on Twitter too, and people say it's a little bit crazy too. So people of all ages. I guess it just depends on your tolerance in shows.
I don't consider myself a prude when it comes to certain TV shows, but I don't put a lot of time in watching a whole lot of TV shows. But I will check this one out because my niece likes it. I'm gonna see what it is that you're into. The last show I was into was The Ozarks on Netflix. It's kind of quirky, interesting take on the whole drug business from a laundering aspect. And all I have to say about that is that the people look different than all of the other drug shows I've ever watched, like The Wire or Snowfall or Power. It's a different cast of people, I will say. And I wonder many things. I have yet to think of a precise way to word it yet, but when I do, I think it will be an interesting conversation. I would love for you to watch The Wire one day and Ozarks one day, and us to have a conversation about the difference, the stark differences between the two shows, and the similarities. And the similarities. So what have you decided to do with my makeup today? What are we doing?
I don't know, just really glowy. Just like the Vaseline looks sort of.
I want to add some of those blonde looks. I'm afraid to actually blonde my hair now. So twist it in a few and, do some highlighting or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool. I feel like I should ask you more questions, but I'm not.
You're not going to, or you're not asking more questions?
I'm not asking more questions yet. I'm feeling like right now that I'm being massaged. And you are so soft on the face. It's like a mini massage.
I just want to make sure I don't hurt nobody,
Yes, but it just feels good. It's like, and I could fall asleep, and that I could just imagine a line in my face from like dropping my head. Do you remember that video that I sent you about that lady who was married and she wanted to find out from a relationship guy how to get her ex back? Yeah, so what did you think about that?
Honestly, there's this saying on Twitter that's like, I want to say I support all women, but some of you are really dumb.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like I want us to stand up.
Right? Can we get more women to just say like, hey, I love the one that I love. I'm gonna concentrate on that one guy because I love him, not because he is supposed to have 6 figures in his bank account.
Mm-hmm.
If that is the prerequisite of how you love someone, man, women are going to be disappointed when they find out that money doesn't mean that the guy is a great guy.
Yep. Money gives people more incentive to control you, y'all. And I feel like that's like, oh, you don't know, you don't gotta know, you're not dealing with 6-figure men, but people don't treat power like it's just. Like, I don't know, people abuse power. It's prone to human
Nature.
Yeah.
People do abuse power, and it's not necessarily or always true that people with money want to control the people that they date or that their spouses, the people that they have relationships with. We see examples of that because there's a lot of ratchetness in the world right now. So we see bad examples, and those are the examples people like to highlight. But in general, though, and I'm going to say this is my opinion, people who are in that realm in the world where they're making 6 figures and more at this time are people who are very serious people. They spend a lot of time working on whatever it is that they do. A lot of time, which means they don't have a lot of time for bowling and movies and slow walks in the park, and they kind of do their whole romance thing a little bit different. But there are a lot of women out there who are in search of this man as if this is the most important man to get. Mm-hmm. You have bad men in the 6-figure realm, you have bad men in the 5-figure realm, and you have good men in the 5-figure realm and good men in the 6-figure realm. They're good men everywhere, and they're bad men everywhere. That's just, you know what I mean, in every realm. So you should judge a person on their character and if they are yoked to you. Mm-hmm. She, what I think in my personal opinion, what she did, so wrong to that man that she committed to. She went to a church and had vows with this man and promised to be with him. Mm-hmm. There didn't seem to be a problem in that relationship, right? It's just that the ex was younger, more fit, and made more money. But nowhere did she say anything about loving him, mm-hmm. or his nurturing characters or his protection characters or anything about
him as a person.
Yeah,
she was just like, I want him
because he makes this money.
Well, I think it's also because she felt some type of way because he suggested that she needed therapy, which she does. I think she did, but it's also like that. Well, I guess if you're dating someone, you could sort of like be like, dude, you need, or a girl, sir, ma'am, bruh, sis, you need,
sir, ma'am, bruh, sis,
you need some therapy. Whomever needs to hear it, you need some therapy. Like,
I have learned that therapy is so awesome. It is awesome to be able to sound off on something that might have caused you pain. Get it off your chest, get it out of your brain, process it, talk to somebody, mm-hmm. and then that way you don't carry that bag into your next relationship, and no matter what kind of relationship. That relationship could be your work relationship, your business relationship, your love relationship, your sibling relationship, your family relationship. People are ticky bombs today because they're not taking the time to work through whatever trauma they have or had in the past. And I can tell you it shows up whenever you're not expecting it to show up. Mm-hmm. You might be thinking, I'm strong, I got over it, and then somebody does something that reminds you, and you are triggered. And then, trigger.
I don't know which one.
Oh, okay. We'll do that then. Yeah, but once those triggers hit, you know what I mean? It's hard to take back something you say. Mm. It's hard to unring certain bells. You find yourself in a relationship with a wonderful person and they say something that triggers you in an argument or a dispute and you lose your mind. And then once you've lost your mind, it's hard to come back from that. You know. So I think that he saw some things and maybe some arguments or maybe some discussions where she wasn't connecting. But obviously, we saw some things in just that conversation she had with the relationship guy, right? That she probably needed to go and talk to some people or a person and work through some things. I say it's healthy. I'm sorry.
It's all
So
good.
it's all good.
Nothing I can't fix.
Oh, there's nothing she can't fix. That means there's a did my chin like that. Oopsie daisy. But yeah, I wouldn't want to judge her, sis, him, bruh, in their choices in life either. The first person to be able to cast a stone, go ahead and do that. We've all made mistakes, and we all have the propensity to make mistakes. So there's that. But you have to consider the people that you're with, that you commit to. Commitment, in my personal opinion, is for real. Marriage is real. Although it is an agreement, it's a contract, it's still between two people, and you make that kind of contract for life. Today we live in that, what do we call it? Selfie life. Also where everything is disposable, so they're disposing of people very easily, I find. Nobody want to work it out.
Like, on to the next. Thank you.
Yeah.
Next.
Sometimes. Oh my God, what song is that?
It's Thank You Next. Sorry, everybody.
Thank You Next.
Next.
That's what it is today. It's like that. Sometimes, you know, in a relationship, yeah, you have a man beating you, you have a woman beating you, you have the serial cheaters. Yeah.
You got the political views.
These are things you should know before you get married, anyway.
Yeah.
But some of the other stuff, I can understand leaving. You know, abusers, physical abusers, domestic violence, leave that situation, run for the hills, you know. But if you're mad because, you know, it take him 2 weeks to finish painting a porch instead of 3 days, and you're mad, or you're mad because he brought you, I don't know, some running shoes that didn't have Nike's name on it, that's the wrong thing to be mad about, for real. Sometimes you have to be thankful for what you got and be grateful for it. Because there are some people, like in America, we got American problems, we have first world problems. There are people who, you know, sand for floors and mud for walls, and they are happier than a pea in a pod because they're thankful for what they got. Some people ain't even got that. We get mad if we don't get the right, We died.
You died?
We died.
Hers dead.
Okay.
She's alive.
Yes. I hope we were taping that whole time.
I'm pretty sure it's all the red light.
You pretty sure you saw red light? Okay. Then I trust you.
Hopefully I'm not wrong.
Someone has it? Nah. Anyway,
Somebody got it.
somebody got it. When did you learn to do makeup, Niecy?
When did I learn?
Where did you
Where?
Yeah.
YouTube University. Bless you.
Find me. Oh, you mean the tutorials? That's what I call them.
Tutorials.
Tutorials.
Yeah.
I'm a tutorial girl. I watch a tutorial at least twice a week on something. So you learn to do makeup on tutorials, on the MUAs, as they call them.
Mm-hmm.
Would you consider yourself an MUA?
In a very small niche, I would pivot this way, darling.
Pivoting, darling. This is fun. I really want to drink a glass of wine. We might have to pause for the cause. Did you see what I mean, though? Well, I guess you feel the same way, because that was kind of crazy. She was on the cray-cray side. We are not all like that, and I get mad at women.
Yeah,
like that.
that's.
You know, they make it. Go ahead.
Be some pick-me's, or well, I don't know if that's necessarily a pick-me, but it'd be so like the girls that don't stand up.
What's a pick me? Ooh, that's a new term. Tell me about it.
Pick-me is basically one of the girls who try to separate herself, but mainly in misogynistic ways, like try to lower a group of women by hiring yourself, sort of like I don't wear makeup ever because makeup is fake, and like a man wants a real girl, you know, that kind of girl.
Oh,
like everything
God.
they say is for male validation.
Wow.
Like, I'm not like other women.
Oh, okay. Did you hear that? I learned something. A pick me. All right, then I got a term, another term I learned about. I need you to explain or tell me if you even know about it. Have you heard of a sneaky link?
Yeah. Oh Lord.
Okay. So explain to me the sneaky link, please.
The sneaky link is usually when somebody is what they call a hoe phase.
Okay.
And usually somebody has a relationship already, or both people have a relationship already, or not really wanting to have a relationship. And you know, I guess if you get caught, you get caught. But most of the time, you don't really tell people who it is. You only see each other at night. That sort of thing.
So basically, come over at midnight or at 1 and leave at 4.
And then the main chick comes over at like 9.
At 9.
That same morning.
Oh yeah, the same morning. Yeah. The main chick has no idea. The sneaky link went on last night. She just comes over in the morning. Hey, boo, and he's hey, honey, and then she makes coffee and breakfast like nothing ever happened. And they hang out the whole day. Ain't that something?
Craziness.
Yes, I heard that sneaky link phrase in some clubhouse room, and cheers.
We're back.
We're back. And here, look, I want one to in. We're back. Yes.